Have you noticed how our world is being transformed and how these new changes seem to be coming straight out of a science fiction movie? Metaverse, cryptos, nanotech, AI, quantum computing, biotech, Industry 4.0, to mention just a few. Does that make you wonder how to best prepare your children for this future? How to raise them up for success? Because of the fast changes happening in our world, the US Department of Labor estimates that today's learners, our children, will have 10 to 14 jobs by the time they celebrate their 38th birthday. The World Economic Forum reports that 65% of children entering primary school today will ultimately end up working in completely new job types that don't yet exist. Imagine how many times they will need to go through skilling, upskilling, and reskilling. While the world is changing, the jobs are changing, and the skills needed to stay relevant are changing. The digital influence on children has magnified. Consider the amount of time children are spending behind the screen. Per the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, on an average, children ages 8 to 12 in the United States spend 4 to 6 hours a day watching or using screens, and teens spend up to 9 hours. This was pre COVID. The pandemic became a major catalyst for a supersonic explosion of screens into our children's life. Globally, 1.6 billion students got pushed into digital learning overnight. Technology adoption that would traditionally take 8 to 10 years happened in a matter of just a few months. Do you find children distracted, mindlessly consuming content on their screens, watching entertainment, playing games, or engaging on social media? Would you allow your children to addictively binge on junk food? Perhaps not, because you know it's not good for their health. Yet, with so much schoolwork, studies, and learning, and even the needed entertainment that's happening through screens, it's hard to know when the healthy use ends and when junk use begins, right? And does that make you wonder how to encourage healthy screen time while preventing screen junking? Now, as our transforming world is casting an ever expanding digital influence on our children, it's also providing a lot of power in those little hands. Look at your phones and consider how much they have changed in the last 10, 20, 30 years. The smartphones that most teens and many preteens are now carrying have 100,000 times more processing power than the computer that first got humans to the moon. And while so much has changed, for the most part, we are still educating children the same way it has been done since ages. Experts say we are preparing children for jobs that don't exist yet, using technologies that haven't been invented yet, and to solve problems that we don't even know are problems yet. So we're preparing our children for an unknown future using methods of the past. It's like preparing someone to bike, to be great at pedaling and going through dirt pathways, and then to take them to a racetrack and ask them to race a race car. Think about it. Would we ever do that? Yet, that's what's happening to so many children around the globe. Now, there are certain key areas that are important for thriving in the uncertain future, and unfortunately, they are being overlooked. The good news is that you, as a parent, you, as a teacher and an educator, can take steps to change this now. Hey, I am Moni Singh, an engineer, a creator, a mother, and a lifelong learner. I worked years in developing and selling cutting edge technologies, working with global teams, customers, vendors, and partners, achieving numerous technological feats that help with fast transformations, like using satellites for communications, making wireless phones, bringing internet to our cell phones, to our homes, and making our homes smarter. Then, for over a decade, I focused on transforming how we prepare our children by developing hands on, minds on ways to engage them with topics of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and doing so early on. As a mother, I have raised two kids into responsible, life, and college ready students. And I'm working on my third child who is about to begin schooling. I've experienced life and career through several vantage points. Let me give you some examples. I worked for many big corporations and then worked in small businesses. In my jobs, I designed and developed products, then helped manufacture them and deliver them to the customers. And I also sold products. That's an entire value chain of any business. As an employee, I developed my skills to create value for my employers, and I delivered on those values. And as an employer, I honed in on how to value my employees' skills, talents, and contributions, and how to help them grow and develop. Staying attuned to the fast changing world, not just as a consumer of high tech goods, but also as a creator. First, to stay employable and be able to create opportunities to experience the broad set of roles that I've worked in, and then later to educate educators in bringing this fast changing world to a child's level in fun, hands on ways. Having gone through several transformations in my own career, seeing the world from all these vantage points, from preparing myself to preparing organizations, preparing educators, and to preparing children, I know a thing or two about future preparedness for our kids. Two, to be exact. You see, it comes down to two key areas of focus. And if you help your children build a strong foundation on these focus areas, you can set them up for success now and into their future. That's it. That's it, folks. So, if you're a parent, an educator, a teacher, wanting your school age students to be future and life ready, you are at the right place. Learn about these two key focus areas, what they are, and how you can go about nurturing them in children. And you can get it now by using the link displayed. There's no cost, no commitment required. My goal is simple. I want to help children succeed. And I know that when you apply what I've learned and developed, the way I show you, you will create a positive difference for the children in your life. And by passing this practical knowledge on to you, together we can raise millions of children around the globe. So go ahead and get started with the link below. There's nothing to lose and a lot that you can gain for the children or students in your life.